It's 2021. The US and NATO are already irritated by the Nordstream 1 gas pipeline because they see it as a threat to Western dominance. And now, Nordstream 2 was nearing completion, which would double the amount of cheap Russian gas flow into Germany. Something had to be done. And this is how it went down, according to a source with direct knowledge of the operational planning. So, Joe Biden authorizes his national security advisor to create a group to come up with a plan to get rid of the pipelines. By the end of the year, Jake Sullivan convenes a meeting of a new task force, men and women from the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the CIA, and the State and Treasury Departments. They hold several top-secret meetings in the building right next to the White House. And during their brainstorming sessions, the Navy, for example, proposes using a newly commissioned submarine to assault the pipeline directly. The Air Force discusses dropping bombs that could be set off remotely. And the CIA just argued that whatever was done had to be done covertly. The CIA director at the time, William Burns, authorizes an agency working group to craft a plan for a covert operation that would use deep-sea divers to trigger an explosion along the pipeline. Early 2022, the CIA working group reports back to Sullivan's interagency group, "We have a way to blow up the pipelines." Meanwhile, a few slip-ups.
With regard to Nord Stream 2, we continue to have very strong and clear conversations with our German allies, and I want to be clear with you today. If Russia invades Ukraine, one way or another, Nord Stream 2 will not move forward.
If Russia invades, that means tanks or troops crossing the border of Ukraine again. Then there will be no longer a Nord Stream 2. We will bring an end to it.
The group is surprised over Biden's and Newland's indiscretions and are wondering what it means for their mission. The CIA's William Burns apparently said, "Do it." But how and when? Well, that's when Norway enters the picture. In March, a few members of the American team fly there to meet with the Norwegian Secret Service and Navy. The Norwegian Navy finds the right spot for the explosives and a way to camouflage them so the Russian Navy doesn't spot them. Norway apparently also suggests the ideal cover to plant the mines during the annual NATO exercises in the Baltic Sea, which take place in June. June 2022, the NATO exercises begin and the mines are planted. The White House starts having doubts about its genius plan and asks if the mines can be detonated at a later date, so it doesn't look obvious that they did it. The Americans in Norway now have a new problem. They have to find a way to do it. The explosives could be triggered by a sonar buoy dropped by a plane at short notice. It would emit a sequence of unique low-frequency tonal sounds that would be recognized by the timing device and trigger the explosives. On September 26, 2022, a Norwegian Navy PA surveillance plane makes a seemingly routine flight and drops a sonar buoy. A few hours later, the high-powered C4 explosives are triggered, and the rest is history.